Good evening.
Kavod Harav, how are you?
Okay, thank you.
Baruch Hashem.
Okay. So I think we're starting a new chapter tonight. If I'm not mistaken, we finished the last one.
I think we did Kavod Harav.
Yes. So that was Nun Gimel. So now we're going to Nun Daled. 54. Okay. It says like this. Ishtabach eno botach ve'orach. We did this already. Looks like we're going to Nun Hey. Sorry about that.
Yeah, we did chapter 54. With it. Yes.
Okay, so it says like this. Ve'omer Kaddish, then he says Kaddish afterwards. Ve'en omrim oto b'pachot mi-10. So you cannot say Kaddish with less than 10 people. Dechol davar shebektusha kegon Kaddish u'baruch hu. So it says because everything which is sanctification, holiness, right, like Kaddish and Baruch hu, Kedusha, Efshar, en omrim oto b'pachot mi-10. We don't say it less than 10 people. This is the rule. So it says Omiu im itchilu b'asara. But it says if they started with 10, ve'atzar echad mehem, and one of them going out. Gomer HaKaddish, he finishes the Kaddish, Kedusha, ve'elu ha-yud tzarich she'eu kulam Bnei Chorin. Right, so it says all these 10 people have to be free Jews, right? Not slaves. Ugdolim, and also they have to be adults. Sheviu betzerot, they have 2 hairs. Shematirin letzarev katan. Some do allow to combine a katan, which is a child, in tet with 9 years old. Alidei chumash. By the way, chumash shenotanim be'ado, that we put in his hand. Then he goes on to say, Rosh Zal Katab. So he says, my father Rosh said, we shouldn't combine that, this guy. Until he brings 2 hairs. Whether it's prayers or Birkat Hamazon, okay, that's a very different story. We'll get that later. Let's first go to Bet Yosef and see what's going on there. He says Bet Yosef. The Omer Kaddish, he says Kaddish, Katav Agur, says the Agur, Besiman Tzadik Daled. In this Siman, he says, this language of Agur. Heshiv Haravad, the Ravad answered the question, Tam ala Kaddishim Shomrim Betfilah, a reason why these Kaddishim that they say in the prayers, Echad Achar Psukei Zimra. Why do we say one after Psukei Zimra and then שיש לשם הפסק לפסוקים בקדיש אחר סיום תפילה 18 שהיא מצווה בפני עצמה ואינה דבוקה לאחריה. קדיש אחר קריאת תורה כי הוא מצווה בפני עצמה. בכניסה וקדיש אחר הקדושה והיא דבר שבקדושה וקדיש אחר אמירת מזמור או פרק או אגדה או משנה כדאמרינן בסוטה. על מקראי הקדושתה בסדרה תסדרה. ושמי רבה תגדתה וקדיש אחר אשרי למנחה שהוא מצווה בפני עצמה. I'm sorry, I'm not translating it. I'm trying to get the flow of these words. שכל האומר תהילה לדוד, because Yerba says תהילה לדוד אשרי, 3 פעמים בכל יום, 3 times a day, מובטח לו שהוא בן העולם הבא. He's assured to be member of the world to come. וקדיש אחר ברכת קריאת שמע. There's also another Kaddish after the blessings of Kriyat Shema, Shel Arvit of Arvit. Okay, so let's just now go back and recap this whole thing. Now that we got the big picture of what he's trying to say here. So I'll read it again one more time. So it says like this. We say one Kaddish after Psukei de Zimra. So it says Yesh L'sham Hefsek, because there's a stop there. There's a interruption there. The Psukim B'Kadish Achar Siyum Tfilat Shmoneh Esrei. And then another Kaddish after Shmoneh Esrei, after the standing prayer, the silent prayer. Shem Mitzvah B'Fnei Atzma. Why? Because that's already different mitzvah. So in other words, basically, what he's trying to say is that as we go along from one mitzvah to another, from one section to another of the prayers, so each section gets a Kaddish before we cross over into the new section. So basically, you see from there, the Kaddish is like some kind of a gate that takes you from one section to another. That's what That's what it is. Okay, good. So now, then he goes on. The Kaddish Acher, also there's another Kaddish, he says, Achar Kriyat Torah, after the reading of the Torah. Kihu mitzvah b'fnei atzma, that's also another mitzvah, separate mitzvah. B'knisa, the Kaddish Achar Kedusha, and then another Kaddish after the Kedusha. Vehi davar sheb'kedusha, that's talking about Uva Letzion, right over there. The Kaddish Acher, Achar Amidat Mizmor, or Perek Agada. Then they say another Kaddish after they do some kind of Divrei Torah there, you know, some Mizmor, Teilim, right, Perek, whatever, Agada, and right, or Mishnah, Kidamiran Besotah, like we said in Sotah. So what does it say there in Sotah? The world exists in the merit of the Kedusha, the sanctity of the Sidra. So what does that mean? The Kedusha of Uva Letzion, that's what he's talking about. And also, when you answer, when you do Agada, that means the stories and the homiletics that we have in the Torah. When we say the Kaddish afterwards, Kaddish Acher Achar Ashrei lemincha. Also, there's another Kaddish which comes after Ashrei in the Mincha time. Shehi mitzvah b'fnei atzma. This is also a separate mitzvah. Shekol ha'omer Tehillah David. Why? Because we said in the Talmud that whoever says Tehillah David, which is Ashrei, 3 times a day, b'chol yom, muftach lo shehu ben ha'olam ba. Then he's assured to be a member of the world to come. Okay, so the Kaddish Achar Brachot Kriyat Shema, and then another Kaddish after the blessings of Kriyat Shema Shel Arvit, of the evening prayer. Ki Tfilat Harvit Reshut, because he says the prayer of the evening prayer is only optional. Ve'yesh she'olchim lahem kodem 18, and some people leave before 18. Oh, okay. Since it's not an obligation, they just leave. So they're not going to hear Kaddish le'achar tfilat Arvit, and also they do another Kaddish after the Arvit prayer. Shekvar nishlama tfilah, because there the prayer is finished. Ve'en potchin pochatin mishiva kaddishim bechol yom. So look what it says, right? That according to halacha, you're not supposed to do less than 7 kaddishim every day. והגאונים כתבו על שם 7 ביום הילתיך. So it says, the Gaonim say that they bring this pasuk, this verse, as an allusion to that, which says that we praise you 7 times, blah, blah, blah. עד כאן השנה, that's the end of it. Okay. עד כאן השנה, משיבו ללקט. From שיבו ללקט. ואין אומרים אותו בפחות מ10. So it says the Tur, we don't say Kaddish less than 10 people. דכל דבר שבקדושה, because everything which is holy, the Perek Mishemetu, it's over there, Brachot in Kaf Aleph Amud Bet, or Perek HaKoreh et Megillah, also this Perek, which Omed, which is in Megillah Kaf Gimel Amud Bet, Pashut Shekol Davar Shebekdusha, right, it comes out from those Gimarot, that anything which is holiness, Lo Yeheh Pachot Mi10, it shouldn't be less than 10 people there. Okay, very good, that's the story there. Let's see the Shulchan Aruch on that.
Kavod Harav, I'm sorry, you said that a person is not, a man in this case, he's not allowed to do no less than 7 Kaddishot, right? Or,
what he's saying is a community, when they pray in the shul, they shouldn't do less than 7 a day.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
And where's this derived? It sounds like it's, I read somewhere where there's a certain Tehillim that I like, and it's 119, and at the end it says something about like King David is saying that he hasn't praised Hashem less than 7 days or something like seven times.
That's what we just read now in the Bet Yosef.
Okay, that's what it's referring to, correct?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, and similarly to the 7 Kadishot, because I think the 7 praises is the seven blessings. I think from the Shema or something like that.
But according to Kabbalah, the truth is, you're supposed to do 13 Kadeshim a day.
Okay. Thank
According
you.
to the Arizal.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So today the Sfardim they do 13 every day. Much more than the original number. Okay. Let's see the.
Thank you for the clarification.
Okay, Shulchan Aruch. Here we go. So it says Shulchan Aruch. Omin Kaddish. So we say Kaddish, right? What is he talking about here? After Psukei Zimra. ואין אומרים אותו בפחות מיוד. We don't say less than 10 people. זכרים, you have to be 10 males. בני חורים, free people, גדולים, right, adults, שהביאו בית שערות, the 2 hairs. והוא הדין לקדושה וברוך הוא, same thing also applies to קדושה and ברוך הוא, שאין נאמרים בפחות מ10. They're not said within less than 10 people there. So all these things require a minyan. Okay, very good. So let's go back to. Right, now we're going back to Bit Yosef. So the Torah said like this, Umash katav miu im itchilu b'asara. So it says like this, however, if they started with 10, and then one of them left, right, goes out. This happens, by the way, quite often. Sometimes somebody just leaves, goes out, whatever. And so the question is, what do you do now? We're in the middle of it. So what do we do? So he says, what you do is, gomer, if you finish it. Even though somebody left, but since you started kosher, you can finish it. Okay. So then he goes on to say, Yerushalmi, right? Megillah. Let me just shut off this noise here. Okay, sorry about that. So now, as we said, that it's it's Yerushalmi Megillah. Katvu Arif. So the Rif wrote this. Ve'arosh and the Rosh b'perek hakoret Megillah. Right, this perek they wrote this. Omed en porsin al shema ve'en ovrim lifnei teva ve'en nosin kapehen. So all these things, to say the Shema, to do the right. We're not talking about saying the Shema by yourself. We're talking about in the shul. So when they do it together, everybody does it together. And they don't do the Amidah, the Chazat Hashatz. Ve'en nosin kapehen. Also, they don't do the Birkat Kohanim, priestly blessing. Ve'en maftirin benavi, and they don't do maftir. And the prophet, pachot mesa, less than 10 people. Itchilu be'asara, but if they started with 10, ve'alchu lahem lemikzatam, and some of them left. Gomer, he finishes it. Ve'alehem hu omer, but regarding them that they left, it says, ve'ozevei Adonai yechalu, right? That the ones who leave Hashem will be destroyed. So you see from there, right, that they get a curse for going out when there's only 10 people there. So they get cursed by that. I warn people sometimes about this, Don't leave when they're reading the Torah. Be careful. Because you're going to get a curse like that. So what should a person do if he has to leave, right? And they're reading the Torah in the shul? So what you do is you wait till the end of the reading and then you can leave. So same thing also applies here, that when there's only 10 people they're doing some kind of a prayer, you can't just walk out like that. You can't do that because you're taking away the divine presence by doing that. So therefore, it gets a curse. Okay, so that's that. Of course, this doesn't apply to women because they're not anyway part of the minyan, so they can leave whenever they want. More or less.
And Kabbalah, how about excuse me? If one of them needs to go to the bathroom, how is it? How does it? Can it be in between the paragraphs of the Shema?
Yeah,
or
that's the question. If he has to use a bathroom, there's only 10 people. So what he should do is, wait till they finish that section and then, go out.
Okay.
But not in the middle.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Very good. That's what it says in Rambam, פרק ח' מהלכות תפילה, laws of תפילה, וכתב דהו הדין לקדיש וקדושה. So it says the same thing also applies to Kaddish and Kedusha. שהם התחילו לאמרם בעשרה, if they start to say them with 10 people, ויצאו מקצתן, and then some of them went out, גומרים, we finish it. כתב רן, says רן, דהדי אמרינן בירושלמי, that what you said in ירושלמי, שהם התחילו והלכו להם, that if they started and then they left, מקצתן, some of them, גומר, he finishes it, מסתבר דווקא בשנשתיירו רובם, that's talking about that most of them were left over, right? At least we have a majority. At least that much. ורבנו דוד אבו דרהם, this rabbi says, הביא תשובת שאלת רמב"ם, he brought the תשובה of the Rambam, פרדור, וזה לשונו, התחילו בשרה ברכת היוצר. So says the Rambam, if they started to do ברכת היוצר, with 10 people, והלכו להם, and some of them left, מקצתן, משלימים ואומרים קדושה. We do finish it, and we say קדושה של יוצר, וכן, בקדושה של תפילה, and also קדושה תפילה, אבל קדיש לא יאמר עד שיהיו שם 10, but it says the קדיש, he shouldn't say until he has 10 people there. שאין הקדיש חלק מאשר התחילו בו. So he says, because the קדיש is not really a portion, a part of that which they started, בעשרה with 10 people, עד כאן לשנות. וכן כתב ר"ן, that's what it says, the ר"ן בפרק קורא to מגילה, also there, not also, but there, עומד, תהה בפסיק לו מתניתין, בתרתי, that which, this Braita talked about two things over here, right? Ruled about two things, and Porsin al Shema, regarding the Shema, and Ovrim Lifnei Teva, and also the Amidah. Rashminan comes to teach you, Shapa Pishamu Beracha Rishona Be'asara, that even though they said the first blessing with 10 people, and Ovrim Lifnei Teva, we still don't do the Amidah, Chazar Hashatz, repetition. We still don't do that less than 10 people. And don't tell me this just finishing it, because this is already a different mitzvah altogether. Since they start with 10 people, they finish it. Kamashman comes to teach you the law, not so. That's what it says Yerushalmi. בשיבול הלקט, that's what it says in שיבול הלקט, בשם רב ניסים גאון, the name of this rabbi. ושכן משמע בירושלמי. That's the way it implies in ירושלמי. כתב רשב"א, says the רשב"א, שאלת עד אמרינן. You asked regarding that which we said. בירושלמי. אם התחילו אין מפסיקים, that if they started, they don't stop in the middle. מי אמרינן אפילו התחילו באבות, does that mean if they started in the first blessing, Gomer afilu kedusha teshuvah, that he finishes the kedusha? The answer is mistabra vadai de omer kedusha. So he says yes, it makes sense to say that we say kedusha. Ve'avi raya ladavar. He brought a source for that. V'trumat hadeshen This book, כתב שאם התחילו להתפלל 10 בשחרית, they start to pray 10 people for שחרית, ולאחר קדושה יצאו מקצתן, and then after קדושה, some of them left, רשאים נשארים לגמור סדר קדושה. So then the rest of them can just finish it off, the קדושה, קדיש, וכל זה מגמר תפילת 18. That's all considered to be the end of 18. הוא. לכך אין השליח ציבור אומר קדיש שלם, so he says therefore the שליח ציבור doesn't say the full קדיש עד אחר סדר קדושה, until after the קדושה of the ובא ציון. באותו קדיש שלם חוזר התפילת 18. So that full קדיש goes back on the 18. שהרי אומר תתקבל, because it says over there תתקבל, the prayer should be accepted. וכן שמעתי, so it says that's the way I heard, שאחד מן הגדולים הורה, that one of the big rabbis ruled כך, like this, שאם התחילו התפילה ב10, if they started the prayers with 10 people, רשאים לגמור סדר קדושה, they can finish קדושה, קדיש, שאחר כך, and afterwards, שלא ב10, not with 10 people, אמנם נראה, so it says, however, it seems, שאם התחילו בשחרית, but it's difficult שחרית, they started, לומר קדיש וברוך הוא, say קדיש וברוך הוא, ויוצר, and then יוצר, ב10 with 10 people, והלכו מקצתם, and then some of them left, וכן בערבית, also in ערבית, כי אגב, in the same way, אין להתפלל שוב ב18 לפני התיבה. So then they shouldn't do 18, right, the repetition. ושאמר שליח ציבור, and the שליח ציבור should say, קדושה וקדיש, קדושה וקדיש, ואחר כך, או afterwards, או בערבית של מוציא שבת, also the ערבית of מוציא שבת, the going out of שבת, סדר קדושה וקדיש, וקדושה וקדיש, שאחר כך, afterwards, the קריאת שמע, וברכותיה לחוד, why? Because קריאת שמע and his blessings are by itself, ותפילה לחוד, and prayers are by itself. וכן יראה דמי, so it says, that's the way it seems also, די התחילו בתפילה, if they started the prayers, ב10 with 10 people, ביום הכניסה, and on the day of gathering, the קודם קריאת שם התורה, it says before the reading of the Torah, הלכו מקצתם. Some of them left, and קוראים בתורה, that we don't read the Torah. שאף על פי שאינם מתחילים לקדיש, even though we don't start with קדיש שלם, with full קדיש, עד לאחר קריאת התורה, until after קריאת התורה, reading of the Torah, קריאת התורה בציבור, חשיבה מיעוטה בפני עצמה. But it says reading of the Torah in the community is considered to be a mitzvah by itself, different separate mitzvah. Good. Okay, so then he says, במנחה קוראים קודם התפילה ולא דמה לסדר קדושה. Because he says when it comes to mincha, they read before the prayers, but so it doesn't resemble the seder kedusha, the minyan tfilat v'shevachi. It's considered to be part of the prayers and the prayer and the praises. There is to say the bata tfilat gerida. So it still goes. It's still dragged along with the prayers. So it says not really a full proof from the Kaddish Shalem, waiting for Kaddish Shalem. Yom Tfilat Musafim. So it says because that when it comes to the day of the Musaf, Omrim Kaddish Shalem, we say full Kaddish, Miyad Achar Tfilat Shachrit, after Shachrit, Mipnei Sheyesh Belav Achi Kaddish Shalem, because there's also another Kaddish Shalem, the full Kaddish, the Achar Tfilat Musafin, after the Musaf. Shechozer, that he returns that, repeats it. Bekai Gamken al Seder Kedusha Kriyat Torah. So it says it also is referring or whatever, going back to the Kedusha and the reading of the Torah. Okay, interesting. We'll do the Shulchan Aruch on this. So it says in Shulchan Aruch, אם התחיל לומר קדיש או קדושה ב10, we start to say Kaddish and Kedusha with 10 people, some of them left. We finished the Kaddish. Or Kedusha, Sheitchil, that he started. When is that? When most of them were left over. Right, so we're only talking about where most of them are still there. But if the majority of them already left, we can't do it. That's the whole thing. That's what he's trying to say. So says the Ramah over here, that's it. But he says, anyway, it's a sin to go out. The person who went out got a sin. And regarding them, it says, the ones who leave Hashem will be destroyed. So you see, right? It's a big sin to do this. But it says that if there is 10 left over, then you're allowed to go out. No problem, right? It's only a problem to go out when you're leaving less than 10. That's the whole thing. Otherwise, no problem. Okay, one more Shulchan Aruch. Says the Shulchan Aruch, Gimel, Im itchil ba'avot v'yatzu miktzatan. We started, let's say, with avot, right, which is the first blessing of the Amidah, and then some of them left. Gomer afilu kedusha. You can finish with kedusha. So in other words, you finish the whole thing from, the whole repetition. As usual. So says the Ramah, but if some of them went out after they started to do Yotzer, right, which is the Kriyat Shema, you shouldn't do the repetition of the Amidah because it's a very different section. Because Tfilat Yotzer is finished. If they went out after he started already the repetition in the Kedusha, they can do the whole Kedusha, Uvaretzion, in other words. Kaddish, Hashem, they full Kaddish, they say, Titkabal, it's called, which is afterwards, the Shaykh Tefillah, which is relevant to the, right, it's connected to the prayers. Sharei Omer, Titkabal Tzilaton, because it says your prayer should be accepted. Aval en korin b'Torah, but we don't read the Torah. That's a very different mitzvah. It's a very different issue there. It's not Arvit, so it says when it comes to Arvit, Kaddish Shalacharav, and the Kaddish afterwards, Lo Shach L'Kriyat Shema is not relevant to not connected to Kriyat Shema, because they have the blessings. Okay, so in other words, just to recap this whole thing, right, to give you a review, what are we talking about here? What's the bottom line? The bottom line is like this, right, that when you have 10 people and some of them leave, so now there's no minyan, okay? If you already started a certain mitzvah, which requires a minyan, you can finish it. This is the general rule. They have a sin, what they did. They're going to be punished for that. But you're allowed to finish it anyway. So, but the rule is only you finish that piece that you're in now. But the next section you cannot do because that's already, different section. Okay, very good. Let's go to Dalet. Dalet and Hey together. Okay. So we said here, right, in the Torah, these 10 people, they all have to be free, not slaves. And also they have to be adults that already have 2 hairs. We said it was pubic hairs. Right? Where's the source for this? It says Bet Yosef, we're talking about the parak of Brachot Mem Zayin Amud Bet over there. Amar Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi, says this rabbi, hamutal barisa. Even though they said that a katan, right, a child who's in the crib, and mezamnin alav, we don't do zimun upon him. We don't do zimun. Aval osin oto sanif l'asara. But we do make him a how do you say this? A branch for the 10. The Amar Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi, it says Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi, Tish'a ve'eved mistarfin. If you have 10 people and one slave, they do combine. He says, according to that opinion, we don't pass him like that. Metive, so he brings an objection here. Maaseh Rabbi Eliezer. It happens one time with Rabbi Eliezer. Shenichlas leBeit HaKnesset. One time he came into the shul. Velo matzah asara. So he didn't find 10 people there. So what he did was he freed his slave, and therefore there was a minyan. He made a minyan out of this guy. Shichrer in lo shichrer lo, but it says only if he freed him. But if he didn't free him, no. So therefore you see, right, that slaves do not combine with a minyan until you free them, because then they become already like a convert. Okay, so today it's Tzlichu, Shichrer Chad, Menafik Bechad. Right, so it says that 2 were needed. In other words, you need 2 conditions. One is, so in other words, there's 2 different factors there. One is that you freed him. That works. And Shichrer Chad Menafik Bechad. So that means that, I'm not really sure what that means. Let's see, I guess I'll explain this, right, what this means. Let's see. So it says, Katvat Tosfot, says Tosfot, Rabbeinu Tam Pasak, Rabbeinu Tam Paskin, Kerabi Yoshua ben Levi, like this rabbi, Katan Afilu Amutal Barisa, that if you have a child, even if in the crib, Osino Tos Nif Lasara, we can combine him with 10, Perush the Birkat Hamazon, for Birkat Hamazon, the same thing also applies for prayers. Even though we say Hatam over there, we don't pass like any of these lessons that we just learned. Rather, it's like Rav Nachman. What do you say? You have a child who knows who you are blessing. We can do zimun counting him. So it says regarding that, there's no argument. That there's no argument. It says that when he requires somebody who knows, that applies for zimun of 3 people. When it comes to combining him to 10, model Rabbi Yoshua, he admits to Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi, the snif la'asarat, that when it comes to combining to 10, also the same thing also applies to prayers. Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi, because this rabbi was also talking regarding tefillah. The parich me'uvda de Rabbi Eliezer, since it objects from story of Rabbi Eliezer, the Maire b'tfilah is talking about prayers. Katur Rosh says the Rosh. Be'amordechi and the Mordechai sheken perush Rabbeinu Hai piresh Rabbeinu Hai. That's the way Rabbeinu Hai explained. Katan ole leminyan asara, that Katan does count in 10 people. A child. When you add the Hainu Tama, so it seems like the reason is Tafilu Mutar Barisa, even if he's in the crib, Mistaref, even there he combines. So it says, you know why? Because every time you have 10, there's always a Shekhinah there, divine presence is there. Where is that? Sanhedrin Namitet Amud Aleph. The Munkdashti Betoch. Right. In this pasuk, this verse, we say from this verse, that you need 10 people. Lo shana gedolim, lo shana ketanim. whether they're big or small. Right? According to this opinion, even children combine. We don't pass like that. We say that they're also Jews. But only that they should be 9 adults. I'm sorry, 9 adults. But more than that, but more than one, no. We said in front regarding the slave, that לצרפו. So again, more time, right? It says like this about tefem echad, but if it's more than one, no, that doesn't work. Regarding, as we say, regarding a slave, the tefem echad lika, that you can't do more than one. Lika dishmaya l'tzarfu be'eved nami itya b'chal v'nikdashti shechinta sharia. So it says also slave, you know that there's the Shekhinah there, even on him. Achol mechayve b'nei brit, because they're all considered to be right, sons of the covenant. B'sefer Manhig, I'm sorry. The book of the Manhig, Katab Divrei Rabbeinu Tam. He writes the words of Rabbeinu Tam, without an author. The Katab Od, he writes furthermore, B'Shem HaRazah, the name of the Razah, Shamati Shaya Matir Shened Tinokot La'asara. I heard that he was matir, he was allowing even 2 kids, with 10 people. And he was very precise about that. He would deduce that. Why would he deduce that? Because it says make a combination for 10. But lo amar snif velo nehera. He didn't say snif, it says snifin. So this doesn't seem right. It says whatever. Okay. That's the end of it. All these rabbis katu, they all wrote, even though Rabbeinu Tam allowed to combine a child with 10 people, he himself didn't rely on that, he says, right? He wouldn't do practically this heter, this leniency. He wouldn't do it. Katav Rivash b'tshuva, says Rivash in tshuva, afilu l'divrei matirin, even according to the ones who are allowing this, la'asot katan snif l'tfilah, to combine a katan to complete the minyan, tzarich sheyu ben dat, but they have to be right, proper intelligence. There has to be intelligence there. He has to know who he's blessing, right? He has to know whose God is. He has to know his maker. Ben Tish'a should be also 9 years old, or Ben Asara or 10, or lechol hapachot gadol miben 6, or at least bigger than 6. Aval katan ben 6 ve'afilu hu charif. But it says if you have a katan which is more than 6 years old, even though he's sharp, he knows who you're blessing, and who we're praying to, and no klum, that's not nothing. Because he just still didn't get to the age of adolescence, whatever. So it's considered to be somebody like who's not yet a intelligent. This is what it says in Aruch HaChaim. ששמענו מהרבנו שמשון מידע אנשי כפר. So we heard from this rabbi, he excommunicated Anshe Kfar, people of the village, Katan, this place, al sheba'atu be'oraoto, because they were making fun of his instructions, of his v'hayu mitpalin b'snif Katan, and they were doing, combining a Katan to the minyan. קטן אחד, one קטן. והרב כתב, נראה שעושים סניף בקטן אחד, so says the rabbi said that it seems like we do make one branch from one katan, b'shat adchak, in difficult situation, time of difficulty. Kemo im en be'ir, it's just like if there isn't in the city, minyan, v'chen dat Rabad, that's what it says in Rabad, v'chen nahagu be'arbe mekomot, so that's how the custom in many places. וכן כתב הכל, so it's in Kolba, בשם רבנו פרץ, וגם הגאות והמוניות. Also there it says, פרקי מלכות ברכות, laws of ברכות, כתוב כן והפריז על המידה. So he says he exaggerated with this whole thing here. עוד בקולבו אומר, and then it says, it also says in the Kobo, that all Jews are now accustomed to make a katan, the 10th man, even two people, two of them. In a time of a need, even three people. כתב ראש שהרי חולק על מה שהתיר רבנו תם. Says the Rosh that he argues what Rabbeinu Tam was matir. He was lenient. Katav the mistaba le. Then he says that it makes sense to him that Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi Savar, that this rabbi holds Karabashe lekavashe the Paliga Mor Zutra. He argues on Mor Zutra. The El Beresh Pirkin over there in the beginning of the parak. Kabe Korinum Zamanin Alav regarding that we read and do the zimun with him, the mekel tfeh b'asara mebezimun. So he's more lenient when it comes to 10 people than zimun, shlosha with 3 people. The hatam paskinan, so it's over there we paskin kemor zutra, like kemor zutra. The machmir b'asara, that he's machmir, that he's stringent about 10 people. Hilkach says there en alachak Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi. Therefore we don't paskin like Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi. Ve'ela Arosh, so the Rosh concludes over there. So he says the proper approach is that we don't combine in any of these cases one katan to 10 people, right? You cannot complete the minyan. The Birkat Hamazon is palel ad she'avo ad she'avish teserot, to pray until he brings 2 hairs. That's what it says in Mordechai. B'shem Ravia Nimre Maria. שכיוון שנחלקו גאוני העולם, and since the גאונים were disputed, ראוי להחמיר this issue, proper to be stringent, he says, לכל ירא שמיים השם, whoever is God-fearing, שלא יצטרף לא לזימון, they shouldn't combine to זימון, ולא לתפילה, not for תפילה, not for prayers, לכן כתוב על גאות מימוניות, so it says גאות מימוניות, בפרק ה' מהלכות ברכות over there, in the laws of blessings, וכן כתב הסמ"ג, also סמ"ג בשם רבי, the name of the Rebbe, וכן דעת רבנו יונה, also this rabbi, לקדיש ולקדושה, when it comes to these things, ברכו, צריך שיהיו כולם בני מצווה, they should all be, right, old enough to do mitzvot, right, adults. וכן כתב רשב"א בתשובה, that's what it says in רשב"א בתשובה, וזה לשונו, this is what it says in רשב"א, אין מצרפים קטן לתפילה ולקדיש, we don't combine a katan for all these things, right? Prayers, kaddish, and baruch. Ad she ben yud gimel, until he's going to be 13 years old. And that's only if he brought 2 hairs, right? 2 real hairs, 2 finished hairs. Or לפחות שהוא מפריח, כלומר, at least he's right, flying away, כלומר שיפריח 2 שערות. That he says that he one more time. He has to have 2 hairs, Gimurot. 2 hairs complete. Or that means, or is mafriach. What's mafriach? He says, Klama, shefriach cheserot, that he already got rid of 2 hairs. In other words, they already fell off of him. Even though they weren't finished, because they're not big enough to bend over the head to the root. Like we deduced, And he knows who we're blessing. וזהו שנקרא פורח פרק 3 שאכלו. That's what's called פורח, the name of this פרק. The הלכתה כרב נחמן, נחזק רב נחמן, דאמר, he says, קטן היודע למי שמרחין, if you have a child who knows who we bless, מזמנין עליו וחידו זימון with him, וקראו קטן לפי שלא גדלו, and they called him katan. Why? Because he didn't yet grow. Simanav, the gamma, he doesn't have full hair properly. Ad kan shano, but Shuvah Dachet, different Shuvah, he says, Katab yesh mi shomer. There is one, he says that there is one who says, Shemitzaref kol shehu poreach kederech, shehu mitzaref le'asara be'beracha. That there is one that combines like it combines for 10. And some say some say doesn't combine. For prayers. Until he's going to be really adult. So he says that my inclination is this way. That's what it says in Rabad prayers. We need like a really adult. Hachi ita b'Bereshit Rabbah. That's what's in Bereshit Rabbah. Parashat Vayera. And Parashat Vayera, Yaakov ki yesh shever. Vayar Yaakov. That Yaakov saw that there is food. In Mitzrayim. V'chen katav agaon zal. That's what the Gaon says. Ad kan shano v'chachem direi Rabbeinu. That's what it says also in the words of Rabbeinu, Shkatav shetzarich sheyu kulam b'nei chorin. They always have to be free. All of them have to be free. U'gdolim and also adults. Sheviu shte serot, means they have 2 hairs. V'chen pasak Rambam, perek chet minchot tefillah. That's over there. Umashma, let's see how much we have to go here. Oh, it's a big one. Wow. Ooh. Okay. Let's see how much we can do. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah. So it says, so implies that if he didn't bring 2 hairs, he doesn't cannot complete the minyan. Even if he's already bar mitzvah, he's an adult. How much until when? Until he gets the majority of his years, right? The majority of his lifespan. Because then we can ascertain that he's a castrate, right? He's yeah. Like it says in the Perek chapter, Yotze Dofen, Nida Memdan Amabed, Saris. So if he has the signs of a castrate, as we said, it's not really a castrate, somebody who didn't go through puberty. Beforehand, so it's considered to be like a adult. Like it says over there, Ibn Ezer. It says the words are explained over there. And to Ibn Ezer, Siman Kuf Ein Bet, and over there, this chapter, Divrei Rambam, Perek Bet Minchot Yishud, also the Rambam, Siman Kuf Sadik Tet, Echtov B'Siyata, it says over there, I'm going to write in 199, I will write B'Siyata Yishmaya, right? God willing, Shenir'eh Shedata Rosh, that it seems like the Rosh holds, אף על פי שהוא קטן, מצטרף, that even if he's a קטן, he combines לכל הדבר, in any case, אם הביא שתי שערות, even if he bought two hairs. אף כמו שכתבתי לאל, but he says, however, like I wrote above, שדעתו לומר, that he holds, קטן כלל לא כך נראה לכאורה. So it says that קטן, that's not the way it seems, he says, מדבריו, from his words, וכן כתב מארי על קולון. Also, this rabbi, he wrote, בשורש מ"ט, over there, שזה דעת הראש, that's the beginning of the ראש, וכן כתב רשב"א, so it says also in the רשב"א, בתשובה שכתבתי בסמוך, that we wrote close by, כתב מארי קולון. So it says מארי קולון, בשורש מ"ט, over there, in this place, מה שכתב בספר המחכים. That which it says in this book, the Sugya de Alma lo avde kach. It says that people don't do like that. It's not the proper custom. It's not the prevailing custom. I know that tzrich shte serot. That means to require two hairs. But nevertheless, he does have to have 13 years of age. According to this rabbi, and also other later authorities, like the Rosh and the son, Rabbi Yaakov Patur in the tour, so it says, therefore, it seems, according to my humble opinion, it's not proper to make a katan, a child combined to 10, prayers, because Rabbeinu Tam didn't want to rely on this. But Rabbeinu Yitzchak and the Ri, כמו כן הלך לשיטתו, he went according to his reasoning, והאחרונים גם הם הסכימו לדבריהם. So the Achronim also agreed to their words. וכן כתב רבנו יהודה מפריז, also this rabbi wrote, וכן בסמ"ג, also כתבו שאין לעשות פחות מ-ג', you shouldn't do less than 13, סניף לעשרה, to combine them with 13, with 10 people, וכן אין להקל בדבר, and you shouldn't be, this is that regarding this, it says. Okay, 1 second. So how much do we have here? All right, I guess we'll do it next time. It's still a ways to go. We're kind of like stopping in the middle. Okay, so thanks for coming tonight. It was a little bit, we didn't really get to some conclusions here yet, but just to to recap it for you, so you get something out of it. But what are we really talking about here? What's the whole discussion? It's a long discussion with different opinions over here. The question is, there are some, like Rabbeinu Tam, who say that a person, when you don't have a minyan, you can bring a katan, and combine him to be the 10th man. And we also saw issues about the slaves, you can combine slaves maybe also as well, before freeing them, after freeing them, all kinds of things like this, right? So the question is, Dafka, bottom line, right? Do we require 10 grown men to be in the minyan, or can we also have some leniencies, like katan, the child, slave, and so forth, so on? So from my memory, right, I can tell you that in the end, we're going to say that none of these things work really, So basically, right, we don't use any of these things, any of these leniencies. So the only way you can really have 10 people is to have 10 adults, right, men who are over the age of bar mitzvah, and then they combine to the minyan. Otherwise, no. That's going to be the conclusion. B'ezrat Hashem. We're going to see that tomorrow. So there's no magic tricks over here. When it comes to minyan, you have to have 10 men. Basically, that's what it is. There's also discussion, by the way, we're going to get to later. Perhaps that if it has to be religious people, people who are keeping the mitzvot. So you're going to see that there's also machloket about that as well. But the prevailing opinion seems to be right that you don't want to use non-religious people to make a minyan. As a general rule. Only people who are shomer Shabbat, they keep Shabbat. They keep the mitzvot. So people like this, we can combine into a minyan. But somebody who's not on that level, is breaking Shabbat, especially in public. So then he doesn't combine to minyan. So the rule is, that a person who's mechalel Shabbat, a person who breaks Shabbat b'parhesia in public is considered like a goy. Just like the goy doesn't combine to the minyan, also, right, the non-religious Jew doesn't combine either. That's the idea. Okay, so we're going to get to that B'ezras Hashem later on. We're going to continue with all these things. Thanks for coming. Be blessed, wealth, health, happiness, all the good things. See you tomorrow, B'ezras Hashem, and sleep well, rest well.
Thank you so much.
God bless.
Thank you very much, Kabbalah.